Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, July 6th. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast, your news show, and we are your hosts, McShane and Fitz. How are you doing, Fitz?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I went up and down a ladder so many times today that my watch that kind of keeps track of my health, stats, it thinks I climbed 22 flights of stairs. So, but otherwise, I'm good. How about you? How are you doing?
Good. I apparently came to drink tonight. I already had a side bitch beer, and I went and got another one when I was going to get my regular beer. So I apparently am ready to go, ready to just tear into tonight, which I better be, because this week was just centered around a couple of things, and it was an interesting change.
We're going on week 3 here, basically, of like no news is kind of weird news. It's like the news that we are getting is very strange. It's very consistent, right? I mean, you got your top 3, climate change, Biden, and Trump, and throw in a little bit of COVID/bird flu/mask up. But those are like the big things that are out there, and everything else that's kind of hitting, I quote unquote, the news. Everything else that's getting people's attention is, I don't know, just weird stories out of left field. You're like, why is that coming up now? I mean, Rudy Giuliani getting disbarred now. I mean, I can't wait to get into the masculinity retreats. McShane, I think you and I really need to get a hold of, in touch with our masculine side. But maybe we need to start our own masculinity retreat.
I think that's where we need to go with this and explore what needs to be in our masculinity treat.
Yeah.
Retreat, not masculinity treat. I don't know what a masculinity treat is. That sounds very sexual, though.
The masculinity treats at our masculinity retreat are just like bottles of whiskey.
Whiskey and
like you get a treat,
and whiskey, hookers, and steaks.
Yeah, and a beer here and there too. You get a whiskey, you get a beer, you get a steak. Oh God, where is this world going?
Well, but to your point about the news, last week we were so blessed by the Supreme Court blowing everything up that we start out this week, and I think everybody was just spent. I think that's really what ended up happening. But then, with the fallout from last week's debate, to the mainstream media falling apart and turning on Biden, then you've got this immunity ruling by the Supreme Court, which just ignited this.
Oh my God!
This phony fury that took over like the whole week. So this is one of those weeks for everybody. We always say, while you're looking over here, what is actually happening over on the left side or the right side, or however you want to go and look at it. So it's definitely one of those weeks. We're going to explore some stuff that came up. We're going to get into this. We're definitely going to get into Biden being outed now. Kamala coming in and Kamala being outed. HuffPost wants Biden to use AI so he can clean up all of his bullshit. Presidential immunity, we got to talk about that. I've got a great great clip on democracy by Edward Griffin, which I want to play here in a little bit. But we've even
Yeah.
got a little bit of English politics that we want to get into as well. So
Yeah,
we've got a good show lined up.
and by the way, England, how did you enjoy your 5-day work week, bitches?
You know, they're leading the world in Independence Days, right? Caused by them.
Oh yeah, oh for sure, for sure. They were. I mean,
That's pretty sweet.
they put a capital C on colonization. They also, I'm pretty sure, put the capital C on cunt. But yeah, they were colonizers, man. They had that shit perfected.
No offense to our boys over in England, semi-skeptic.
No, none at
No
all.
offense
You,
at all.
you know
Although
what?
I think they'd probably say it too, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, they would agree. That's the thing is like, when we talk about even our own US government and we tell them to, go fuck off or piss off, I mean, that's not the American people. Like when I say that I'm questioning my patriotism, that has nothing to do with the American people themselves, although there's, some rotten apples in that group, but I believe in us as a people to govern ourselves. And what I'm mad about is the fact that governments are using our money and our labor and our might against us and to do shit that we don't want them to do. And I'm sure it was the same way with England. I'm sure the average Englishman was not a fan of, colonizing half the planet and enslaving half the planet just for the whims of the empire. I don't know. I'm guessing. I could be wrong.
Well, we better get down to it. So let's start off with the beers for the first part of the show here. What are you drinking?
The beers. Mystery beer from a new brewery to me. This is an offering from Alvarado Street Brewery, which looks like they're down in Monterey, California. I'm not sure how or why their beers made it up to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, but this one made it up here. I have no idea. Kind of a nice site, actually. I will give kudos, regardless of how this beer turns out. They did a good job with, sort of showcasing their beers, showcasing their brewery, what food they offer, all that stuff. So, well done on that end. This poured a very hazy, very thick looking. This I don't know. This could be a fruity beer. It could be, I guess it could be that double IPA. I don't. They have a couple.
What kind of smell are you getting?
Well, I'm getting very fruity, so now I'm thinking it's more of a sour.
Okay.
It's too fruity to be an IPA. All right, let's go ahead and taste it here. Let's see what we got.
Is this a bottle or is it a can?
Can. Oh. Okay.
How is it punch?
Yep, I'm going with the How's It Punch. I think that this is the sour with passion fruit, orange, and guava. It's definitely a sour, so if I'm wrong on this one, I'm at least in the right family, but I kind of taste the passion fruit in there, which I'm not a fan of, and I'm not a fan of guava either. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Completely wrong. Well, not completely wrong because we did get the sour part.
Okay.
This is part of their painkiller series, which is not on the website. So that's why McShane and I both guessed the How's It Punch because that's what's on the website. But this is from their painkiller series. This is called Sunset Bay. When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, by Steve Perry. What? Okay, Imperial Sour Ale with dragon fruit, pineapple, coconut, and tangerine. So I'm getting the dragon fruit and tangerine in there. That's why I thought we were going guava. I can't say I hate it. I can't say I love it yet. It could grow on me. Let's see. It says it's an imperial sour. So what's the ABV on this bad boy?
What was the name of it again? Sunset Bay?
Sunset Bay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why don't they put brewers? Put your fucking AVB on your. Okay, there it is. Sorry, 8%. Good job. They got it covered. So it is an imperial sour. 8% is pretty high for a sour. It's not easy to get that high. So, kudos for that. Yeah, we'll see how it warms up. The pineapple's nice. but there's something in there that I'm not digging, and I think it might be the dragon fruit. Dragon fruit to eat to just eat it, to just have it raw is amazing. It's one of my favorite treats. I don't like it in things. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like a Tony Stark, like he doesn't like to be handed things. I don't know if it's that or I don't know. I just don't like it when it's in stuff, but I like to eat it raw. So I guess I like my dragon fruit like I like my vagina. I don't know. What do you
Dry
got? What are you eating? I mean drinking.
I have one of those rare beers. This one is from Brassier Dunham. They're from Quebec, and neat
Oh,
little site. Very simple, but huge variety of beers. You guys can go there to Brassier Dunham, DUNHAM.com, and check them out. Like I said, they are out of Quebec. This is going to be more of they're calling it a strong beer. It's 5.2, so maybe that's Canadian strong.
yeah. I was gonna
I'm
say, you know what that is? That's not Canadian strong. That's French strong. Look at all the French on that fucking menu.
Yeah, yeah,
These are these
it
are
very
French
much is
speakers.
that.
So,
I
I
may
mean,
want to surrender after this. I don't know, or want
exactly.
universal health care. One of the two.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
these are a people that can have a stiff glass of water and think that it's got alcohol in it.
I'm so fucked up. I'm probably going to apologize after this. We'll see. But it is a saison, and
Okay.
so we'll give it a run here. Huh? Tasty. It's tasty, eh?
Got got any
Very
of the
very
is it like
impressed.
banana? Is it bready?
So it doesn't have any of the Belgian to it at all. It's a dry saison, but it has some honey to it though.
Okay.
Which if you look at the logo on it, it's got two looks like
Oh yeah.
lesbian bees looking at each other like they're about to get it on. You guys can go ahead and look that up.
Propolis. Isn't that that's French for something. I don't know. Now I gotta
But
look it
it's
up. I'm consulting the book of knowledge here. Go ahead.
yeah, it's good. I do like it. Little on the dry side, but kind of what you would expect with it. But it's a clean finish. I'm that's a really good saison. I'm
Oh,
very happy
propolis
with that.
is the that's like the really good shit that you pull from honey. That's what it is. Propolis, it's what they extract from honey. It's that they make it into pills and stuff. Like uh people take it for, like boner problems or like women take it to balance hormones. It's got all kinds of benefits.
Boner problems. So this is
Boner,
this
yeah.
potentially to be a Viagra beer.
Yeah, I mean, yes. You're
Okay.
you're going to walk around basically striking midnight all night tonight.
Okay. So we will check at halftime to see if it's a boner beer.
If that checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it Brewdog that did the Viagra beer?
I think so. Yeah, I believe that's right.
Classy. Keeping it classy.
Oh, oh yeah, for sure. I think let's remember that. Let's table that and remember that when we start talking about our masculinity retreat.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And we need to do that.
Yeah.
We have in chat Jay, Justin, Aaron from I Had to Say It Pod. Jay, if you guys haven't heard Porn Stash podcast, it's a really, really fun. It's definitely an adult podcast. They review awkward. I don't even say it's awkward porn. They review every kind of porn imaginable, I think.
Yeah, it's all the
For the most
porn,
part.
and some of it
Yeah.
some of it gets awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But they also do some really great interviews with porn stars. So those guys are awesome. So haven't gotten to talk about their show a lot. So sorry about that, Jay. But definitely check out Porn Stash, and you guys can find them on X as well as wherever you like to download your shows. we do have an announcement a little bit later. We're going to be waiting for Beard to come in before we do that. Hopefully he's in. He is actually going to be streaming. I think he's streaming a game that he's playing for the first time. I think it might be. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Guardians of the Galaxy or something, something like that.
Okay.
But he's doing one of his live streams tonight, so he'll be here a little bit later. And I think we will be. Well, actually, we won't see the Greys tonight. They are doing a horror fest at home.
Horror?
Watching
Horror fest?
horror. Yeah.
Horror. We got
Horror.
Beard streaming. I honest to God did not think you were gonna say that he was talking about video games when he said he was streaming.
Oh no, yeah.
I thought we were like, it was like some weird pissing fetish podcast or something.
No,
I don't-
no.
That's just where my head's at tonight.
Yeah, pissing
I know,
fetishes. That's
I know.
where your head's at
Beard's
tonight?
Beard's a good guy. He's a wholesome American man, and
He is.
and so I don't know why. So this is clearly a Fitz problem. It's not a
Yeah.
it's not a Beard problem. It's a Fitz problem.
And
for sure.
Andy's single, ladies. So look up at
Yeah.
Beard of Liberty on X.
I still find that shocking because there's got to be a woman out there that's looking for a beard like that. Got to be.
Justin in chat says that's his second favorite, his second least favorite category. Yes, and Jay takes offense to that. He's pretty sure that he's talked about pissing fetishes on his podcast. So yes, I'm positive that you've had. I'm positive I've heard it, Jay. And yes, Aaron, he is a good guy and he is a pervert. So, all right, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it. What
So
do we
the
got?
left
What's
is
first up?
Well, let's just go right after the left and is going into panic mode. The mainstream media has completely shit themselves. They've turned on Joe. They don't know from what day to the next who they're going to be going after. They are like this ravenous, declawed, defanged cat.
Yeah.
That's just batting around people, all kinds of pissed off.
They're like ready to eat their young at this point.
It is absolutely wonderful to watch. I wish they would just shut the fuck up though, because I would prefer for Biden to stay in at this point and just let nature take its course.
Right.
But
right.
the cannibalism that's happening out there has just been unreal.
I mean, it's been all kinds of entertaining. Because you got a lot of pundits coming out. Well, first you had the group of people that came out right after the debate, and they all said the exact 3 words, the exact same 3 words, all of them. Joe Biden is quote unquote sharp as a tack. I guess that's 4 words. Sharp as a tack. 4 words. So you had that whole camp, the sharp as a tack camp. But then you had all these other people that were like, this is the first we're seeing of this. This is a new development. Like they were shocked that Biden might actually be showing some signs of dementia. And then you had the third camp, and this is the camp that we're talking about tonight. Now you have the third camp of kind of like McShane was describing, this like sharks in chum-filled water, and they're all just starting to bite each other. Like they're not even going after the chum anymore. They're just biting at tails and fins and whatever the fuck is flashing in front of their face. Just, we got to get them out of there and fuck Kamala, and we got to get Newsom in there, but fuck Newsom. And it is so beautiful to watch. I've been wildly entertained by it. I think my favorite idea that they have, even better than keeping Joe in power, I think my favorite idea is to have Joe step down now and Kamala just step up and take the reins, because you talk about nature taking its course. She will get devoured. It'll take minutes. And that'll be fun to watch too. So I think all of their suggestions are so fucking dumb. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Well, here's a leaked video Now this video suddenly comes out randomly this week. Okay, July 3rd, right? The day before the 4th of July, you get this video from Trump, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. Kick that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just keep knocking him out, right? What did I do with the?
All right, video's done. Gotta go. Got in my shots.
Yep.
And so that video was Trump out. He was playing golf, and he was in a golf cart. He dropped somebody what looked like either a 20 or a 50, tipped somebody, and said what he said, and then he drove off into the sunset.
Yep.
But that's what they're looking at. Kamala actually coming in and being this DEI savior. And it's pretty jacked up. If you look at some of the prediction sites. Well, oh, sorry.
That's racist. That's racist.
Shit.
Have you seen this trend going around? That people are like, hey, we're about to have our first DEI president. And people are like, that is so astonishingly racist. That's another buzzword that they're using right now. Astonishingly racist.
Everything is racist if you try hard enough. That's where we're at this point.
And I've been thrown out. I've been trying to pick the fights of because Gavin Newsom said that. And I'm like, please explain to me how that's racist. Like, first of all, you want to use DEI to get, these oppressed peoples into positions of power or into positions of well-paid. And then when you say, hey, they got there because of DEI, then all of a sudden it's racist now. But your DEI actions were what you fought for because these people were oppressed, which was racist. So wait, so you're if you keep these people down, you're racist. And if you talk about how they got up, you're racist. Everything's racist. I love it. It's a beautiful death loop that they're in. And I like poking the bear at this point. It's great.
Well, especially since when she was originally brought onto the ticket, everybody said it was because she was a black female. You don't get to play both sides.
No, you don't.
But
exactly.
You're a Democrat, so apparently that's okay. The piece that I'm finding fascinating about this, we haven't gotten into this, but it is an underlying theme. So if you hear play the game like this, if you hear the Democrats say one thing, look at what their actions are, right? So they're scared that Trump is going to go in and start arresting mainstream media and political operatives and making sure that people are silenced. And then if you look over here, what the Biden presidency has been, arresting media, silencing political adversaries, total lawfare.
Yep.
It's okay for the Democrats to be racist. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's okay for the Democrats to be racist. When they do it, it's fine. But when somebody else, says, whoa, you're being racist. Well, no, it's you're who's being a racist. It's an amazing, I never thought we'd ever get to the point where it was such blatant spinning and lying. And it's one thing. We've always known that there's narratives. People, the mainstream media pushes narratives, right? We got it. But it is so blatantly done now with absolutely no soul. And there's no effort put in at all to hide any of it. But if you take a look at that, every time they say one thing's going to happen, they've already been doing it. And it's just surreal. It's amazing where we're at.
Indeed. I mean, there's nothing more to say about that because they, talk out of one side of their mouth and then they do something else. I mean, it's one of those things, and it's out where I've always parted ways from the Democratic Party. But or the ticket. I guess I shouldn't say the party because it's not a party anymore. It's a fucking train wreck. But where they want all these social services that basically equate to a pat on the head and don't worry, you you can't do it yourself. You're too stupid to do it yourself. You're too
Correct.
oppressed. You're too whatever, and so we'll take care of you. And it's a pat on the head. And to me, like that would be there's nothing more offensive. Like I'm cutting off the hand that just patted me on the head because fuck you. I got this. I'll handle it myself. I'll pull myself up by the bootstraps. But they don't see it as racist. They see it as their way to repent for being racist. I guess I don't know. It's always been there, but it's now it's all that's left. It's all they have left. It's not the frothy top anymore. They're just all foam. They're that last beer that you get out of a keg, and it's just all foam. It just sprays foam everywhere. There's no content to it at all.
So we've got Jill is in charge. Jill Biden is the one in charge. She will not let Joe quit. We have all of his interviews have been, and they're saying now that they're going to stop scripting their interviews. But two different radio hosts came forward and said, "Yeah, we were given 8 questions to choose from the campaign.
I love
go ahead,
that.
you can only pick 4." This is the kind of stuff that they're doing. The Huffington Post even wants him to go in and start using AI, so that when he does anything, says anything, goes anywhere, looks like anything, they wash it through AI to go ahead and clean up whatever it is that he did. This is real stuff that is out there, and the mainstream media is actually pushing it, and it is absolutely bizarre. And it's right out. It's right out there. It's not even being hidden.
Well, they can't hide it anymore, and I mean, we've talked about that too. It's like they're not even trying to hide it. I mean, these are real world, real time suggestions for outright censorship, or outright using technology, which I guess has always been done. Right? We've always used technology to polish up candidates, to polish up the president. We got to get the right camera angles, got to make sure there's teleprompters. These things have developed around the presidency to make sure that we put a good face towards the world. But I'm sorry that I don't make the leap from a good makeup artist to using fucking AI. That to me is so insincere is not a strong enough word. It's outright lying. It's just basically fooling people into thinking that this person is something that they're not. I mean, okay, then how about this? We put me, I'm 5'8", middle-aged white guy, but we use AI to make me look like and act like Michael Jordan and we'll put me in the NBA. How about that? You think everybody would like that? No, it's a fucking lie. It's not going to work. But yet that's their suggestion. That's the best they've got.
So does he make it to? Let's start with this. Does he make it to the Democratic convention?
Damn, I don't know, dude. Is there a line on this in Vegas? Is there a line on Joe making it?
So let me see here. There is
I think
sorry, go ahead.
I think that's it's an important distinction to make. Jay's asking, are we talking, does he make it there alive or does he make it there as the nominee? And I took it as making it there alive. Again, that's where my head's at tonight. I don't think he makes it there alive. Because here's the problem, and we discussed this a little bit last week, but there's like 19 states that there is no legal way to get Joe Biden's name off of the primary ballot. They can't. There is no legal way unless one of two things happens. 25th Amendment or he passes away. He's incapacitated. That's the only way they can get his name off of those ballots in those 19 states. And some of them are big states: Ohio, Michigan. I know Iowa's in there, but they don't have a lot of people. But still, the Ohio. Wow, making up words now. The Iowa primary is, of course, a big deal. So there's some big states in there. They cannot get his name off of there any other way. So I'm taking it as he passes away, and or 25th Amendment comes in and he's completely ruled, incompetent to be a president.
All right. Now, what's even more interesting about this is that you do have different factions that are actually fighting under two different guises. One, I think the deep state really wants him to stay in because he's controllable. If he's out, they're going to have a hard time with whoever comes in. If they come in with one of these other folks, it's going to be a little bit different. And I don't think it's going to be quite as a remote control type of a situation as what they have now.
Well, okay, I'll give you that, but I think Kamala, I mean, if Kamala has two brain cells to rub together, I'd like to see them. Because, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think there's any smoke in that brain.
No, I would agree,
I think she's
but
controllable.
I don't know that I think she's too stupid to be controlled. I don't think anybody is going to buy it. I think they know if she goes in, there's no way in hell they're going to get the presidency back. About the only way they can do is hope that somebody votes for a corpse.
But look at this with the screen that you're showing right now. She is the front runner.
Well, so this is from predictit.org. So if you go online, you're going to be able to see these quite often. I suggest taking a look at it. It's almost like it's I'm not going to say it's kind of like a betting site. That's what it actually is.
Yeah.
You can purchase a bet for 44 cents, however many you want. And if you're right, I think I think you'll end up paying off. But Kamala is 44 cents right now. Joe's at 41 cents. Gavin Newsom's all the way down at 10 cents for running. So this is for who will win the 2024 Democratic presidential nomination. We had some bullshit come out last night that was false. That Joe had a medical emergency on Air Force One, and it locked down a bunch of it locked him. The press couldn't talk to him after that. Just some weird stuff that came out. I don't know if it was all false or some of it was true or somebody got bad information, but a ton of places ran with it thinking it was a viable source. But that was super questionable. So yeah, I mean, he could have a medical emergency between now and then. He could drop dead. There's talk about his normal doctor, his doctor, actually going to see a neurologist who specializes in Parkinson's. Apparently, that's been going on for several months. There's all this stuff that's coming out.
I was just going to say they apparently have had like multiple visits from that doctor come to the White House.
Right.
So
So it makes you wonder, how they're going to exit him, and if he does get exited, I'm going to say it as kindly as I can there. Kamala looks like she's the front runner right now. Big Dick Obama's out. He's already said that he's not going to run. Did some homework. Barack can't go in as the VP and then get another shot at the presidency. So it would skip over
because
him.
that was another rumor that was going around late in the week, was that they were going to dump Kamala off the ticket because, again, they know she's unelectable. And then they were going to put Obama in as the VP, which is possible. But if something then were to happen to Joey and he's no longer the president, Obama could not step into that role as the VP. It would go to Secretary of State, which honest to God, I don't even know who that is right now.
I think it's Blinken, isn't it?
Is it? That's so terrible.
I think it's that fucking guy.
For some reason, I thought Blinken, I thought he got caught having sex with a kid or something. But I guess I was wrong. That was someone else.
No,
One of
that's Podesta.
one of the other Democrats.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
there you
John Podesta, the climate czar.
go. Right. Okay. Yeah. Which is obviously why we have climate change, because
Right.
you're not supposed to have sex with children. So.
I mean, allegedly had sex with children. Let me clarify. I don't want to get a door knock
Right,
or anything.
right.
Allegedly.
Well, no.
So. But I highly suggest taking a look at this site. It's
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, will Biden will he resign during his first term? Yeses are 27 cents. No's are 74 cents right now. So it does not look like he is going to do that. At least that's what the predictions are.
No.
So again, that's predictit.org. We should turn Hefe loose on this and let him go do some betting.
Yeah. We do have Beard of Liberty has joined us. Welcome to the chaos, Beard. Hope you're streaming. I hope while you were streaming everything came out all right.
I think that was a good. I think I had to leave that hanging for a second, as it should be.
I was waiting for something to pop up in chat, but we'll just let it hang.
They're all shaking their head like that was too much of a softball.
Yeah, come on. What's wrong with you, Fitz?
So, pivoting from that, right? So we've had this business the whole week. Oh, and by the way, Biden is actually 7 times more popular in Ukraine than Trump, so we need to take that into account. Apparently, that was a big deal by The Hill. The Hill, one of the big political magazines, The Hill, decided to use a poll that was run in May and wanted to make it clear that Biden is 7 more times popular in Ukraine, and Ukraine will be voting for Biden this year.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. No, we're gonna leave that one alone because obviously, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and I didn't realize Ukrainian citizens voted in our elections, so that's cool.
Well, according to the Democrats, you don't have to be an actual citizen to vote. So
well, that's true too.
We'll get into
that's
that
true
later.
Too.
But
so, are we gonna send them mail-in ballots or?
Actually, I think they're just gonna assume whoever is left in Ukraine, because there can't be too many people left in Ukraine at this point. They're just gonna assume that they all voted for him. So that's probably like a good. I don't know what their population is at this point. Maybe 3 million, 4 million.
I'm looking here.
It doesn't matter. They'll multiply it by 7, and that'll be the number of votes that Biden gets.
30, just shy of 37 million. So yeah, that would win him an election.
Very solid. Very, very solid.
Yeah.
The constituency from Ukraine presenting best
especially
money
if they
can
get
buy.
if they teach the kids, the under 18ers, if they teach them how to use a ballot.
Yeah.
That should go well.
BBC is Zelensky's favorite category.
Probably right. That's probably right. Hey, while we're on this, and I know we're gonna have a Hefe here pretty quick. In fact, he's late, so I'm hoping he still gets to make it. But can we go to the again? We're talking about these different sort of camps of the liberals and the Democratic mind, and how they really are just very fractured right now.
Yes.
Because of a lot of things, but there was a faction that when the Supreme Court ruled on presidential immunity, there was a faction that was talking about death squads, that
yes,
President Trump, if elected, could have death squads come out and kill any of his opponents, really anyone he wants. Like they were saying he can have SEAL Team 6 come in and raid your neighborhood and kill all the Democrats in your neighborhood. And there's a point at which when you're having a rational discussion and someone's not winning or something doesn't go their way, they're not able to make their point, that they completely flip, into the irrational. And I'm not, I mean, this happens with men and women, but we all have been there, and we know when that happens that the argument's over. Like, you just need to stop because you're now talking to a psychopath that needs to come back down off the ledge. And that's what this felt like. It felt like, a little drop of water went into a bucket, and they just started running, they're screaming their heads off that, the floods of Moses were coming, or Noah's Ark. It was just like, what? What are you even talking about? It was really nuts. It felt like a mentally unstable person just got some rational news and they didn't know what to do with it. So their mental instability just, like, they weren't taking their meds that day. I don't know. It was fucking weird. And it was all over the place.
It was all over the place. And a lot of it started because of Justice Sotomayor's dissent warning. Never in the history of our republic has a president had reason to believe that he would be immune from criminal prosecution if he used the trappings of his office to violate the criminal law. Moving forward, however, all former presidents will be cloaked in such immunity. If the occupant of the office misuses official power for personal gain, the criminal law that the rest of us must abide will not provide a backstop. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. Here's another. Today's decision to grant former presidents criminal immunity reshapes the institution of the presidency. It makes a mockery of the principle foundational to our Constitution and system of government, that no man is above the law, relying on little more than its own misguided wisdom about the need for bold and unhesitating action by the president. At 313, the court gives former President Trump all the immunity he asked for and more, because our Constitution does not shield a former president from answering for criminal and treasonous acts. I dissent. So you have these two justices, Sotomayor and Kagan, completely ignoring the fact that the whole point of this, and this has been there forever, okay, since the Constitution was designed, was written, this has been there.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Yeah. This is only a clarification. That's all this fucking is.
All they did was upheld what was already there.
That is it.
Yep.
And because it's associated with what's happening, what the the lawfare that's been after Trump in the last 3 years.
Yep.
This is the only reason. This has nothing to do with the actual Constitution. If you're actually mentioning a specific president in this, your bias is already formed. It's already there.
Yep.
You should have been you should have recused yourself from this because you're biased. You shouldn't have had anything to do with this.
Yep, that's a great point.
The fact is,
it's a great point.
A president, when they're in office, has to uphold the Constitution of the United States. No, if they do something that is within the legal framework of the Constitution, they are not going to face prosecution. If they are no longer president and they do something that is heinous, that is criminal, they are going to face repercussions. That's all this said. Nothing more, nothing less. But the left has gone and they've run with this. MSNBC. Well, I'm afraid that Trump is going to be knocking on my door and taking me to a concentration camp. Why is that? Because you already had that planned, Democrats? Was that part of your game plan? Did you do something wrong? He's now able to drone strike anybody in America that he doesn't agree with. What the fuck? You can't act out against your own citizens.
Yeah,
it's not how it works.
You got Rachel Madcow over there saying that, she's crying on air, saying that he's going to put these people like her into internment camps because she spoke out against him. I'm actually more afraid of that from Biden and the liberals.
Well, he already proved it.
Exactly.
He already proved it. January 6th.
Look at the track record. Yeah.
Everything that happened on January 6th.
I don't, we talked about this in the beginning of the show. It's like if they scream loud enough about what they're doing, but they point the finger the other direction, then all of a sudden we have to now we have to be afraid of the other side, even though they're the ones fucking doing it.
It's a fascist culture. It truly is.
Hey, we do have a Hefe
and
side
nobody
in
should
here.
trust it. Nobody should.
No. Agreed.
Hefe,
Hey.
sir, how are you? You cut out.
Oh, I'm okay.
Oh,
I thought we
wow, that
lost
was
Hefe. Jeez.
a very dramatic pause, along with a gushing
Yeah, are you-
release.
Are you
okay?
Are you doing something else while you're talking to us?
You guys mind? Just give me a second to finish here.
Okay. Hey, as long as she's hot. Actually, she doesn't have to be hot. Just
No, she doesn't. No.
No.
I had a epiphany or a thought. I don't know what it was, but soccer was on TV, and Buttercup's gonna hate this analogy, by the way, but like a stat came up, and if I read it right, it said Uruguay has won. I think it said they've won 6 straight matches, and in that six game stretch, they've scored 3 goals. And I'm watching the game, and it ended 0-0 and went to penalty kicks, and they won on penalty kicks against Brazil. And I think soccer is like golf, like all of the strategy and the beauty of it and the planning and everything, except you don't get to like hit the ball in the hole. You like hit it into the water, or you hit it on the green or in the sand trap, and then you just go pick it up and go on to the next hole. You don't actually get to finish and make it into the hole. That's the thought I had, because it's a beautiful game and all that. I get that, but 0-0 for 90 minutes. I mean, I don't know. That's the part I can't. That's why I can't embrace soccer.
It's the most beautiful game, though.
That's what they say. And when I mean, there are beautiful times, when they set it up and run their little plays and score a goal. That's gratifying. But 6 games in a row and they've scored 3 goals.
I kind of want them to open up the goal even more, like make it almost ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
just like so much bigger.
Like if they just took away offsides, so you
Right.
could just have like a camper that just kind of waits by the enemy goal. And so
Yeah.
if you can huck it down there, he's open all the time. Yeah, I mean I agree. As somebody who I've watched my fair share of soccer matches, I will admit I watch more soccer matches when the World Cup is coming up. Like I'm not watching them all the time, but every 4 years,
right.
my fanhood starts to grow, as they say. So I've watched my fair share, but I've had the experience where I'm watching a game and I don't say it loud, but I do say, come on, somebody fucking do something here. What?
Yeah.
I'm basically watching a fucking ball go back and forth on a field. I mean, at least with tennis, you're watching it go back and forth, but someone eventually misses and a point scored, but this is just like, yeah.
But how's your night going?
Good. We're destroying the liberals tonight. Apparently, there's a lot to discuss.
The liberal mental illness.
Yes.
Or I guess we should say the mental illness that is liberalism and wokeism.
The pendulum has swung, hasn't it, over the past few years?
Jesus. I was comparing it to, I mean, not directly, but you get in an argument with your significant other, and there's that moment. And again, this happens for both men and women. But there's that moment where somebody will just escalate the argument into a realm that's, by all intents and purposes is insanity. Like we're talking about one thing and all of a sudden, the other person just jumps to, something that happened 10 years ago or, brings in somebody who's not even part of the conversation, like, this is why your
Right.
mom hates me kind of stuff, and you're like, whoa, I can't, we were having a rational discussion, and now you're in the realm of irrationality, and we can't have this talk anymore. One of us has to walk away. And that's what I feel like we got with the Democrats. I mean, we've been definitely getting there. We've been seeing the leakages of mental illness. But, watching Biden, yay, you answered all the questions. And then also the Supreme Court and their ruling that, basically Trump had immunity during J6. It's unbelievable to watch a whole group of people go to that insane place. It's crazy.
Wish I could relate to your analogy there.
Yeah, I know. You've never had a psycho partner. Nope. I know that.
Not a one.
I know.
Not a one. Lucky me, huh?
God, how did you make that happen?
People actually bring up things from years and years ago. Cannot relate.
It's never happened before.
Nope.
Oh, God.
So you're in the public, right? You're talking to the public like all the time. That's your MO. Hospitality, dealer. What do people talk about this stuff when they're at the tables, or is it just head down, throw me some cards, let's kick some ass kind of a situation?
No, I mean, not that stuff. They talk about stuff, but rarely ever. People, once in a while, someone comes in wearing a 45 hat, something like that. Yeah. But it never really becomes a talking point, luckily.
Something I wanted to bounce off of you. I've got a site. We've got a site that you should take a look at. We know you're a better bit. This is Predict It. I just like saying it. It's way easier to find it that way.
It's way more fun that way.
.org. You can actually go in and bet on presidential nominations if you wanted to.
You had me at tit.
Indeed.
Currently, the VP picks are Doug Burgum, J.D. Vance,
for
Ben
Republicans.
Carson,
You should say
for Republicans.
Republican.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Marco Rubio, then Tim Scott. So Burgum's like 28 cents, which I don't know anything about him. J.D. Vance is 23. J.D. Vance looks like he's about to order like 12 hamburgers.
Yeah, he's in a minivan in the drive-thru at McDonald's waiting for his order. I actually, right. I can't believe that you've got, again, Doug Burgum. I don't really even know who he is. Vance is clearly a jackass. Ben Carson is also a jackass. I don't know how these names make it above like Vivek and Tulsi Gabbard.
I thought Vivek was already the guy.
No, that was just a rumor that went around. Trump visited Cleveland where Vivek happened to be, and everybody just put it together and said Vivek's going to be, but it's not been formally announced.
I think a lot of people want Vivek to be in there, though.
I would like that. Vivek. I love the way. We've talked about it before. I like the way he talks, and he can run circles around whoever. Even if it's not Kamala Ding Dong, but whoever the Democrats try and put up against him in a vice presidential debate, he'd slay him. It wouldn't even be. It would be sad to watch.
Do they have presidential numbers up? Like who's going to win?
So we do have presidential numbers. Trump is Trump is 58. We'll just call it 58%.
Yeah.
Because when you look at this, it's 58 cents because you can purchase like one bet for like 58 cents for Trump. Kamala is 24 cents. Biden is 23 cents. And then you've got Gavin Newsom and Robert Kennedy behind him.
Wait, Kamala is ahead of Joe?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Because right now, because one of the hot things is that they're going to kick Joe out and Kamala's going to slide on in there.
God, it's a bad idea.
Well, it is, unless you're talking about, because listen, okay, stick with me here, guys. if you go back to the Clinton days, one of the perks of being the president is blowjobs, right? And so if you got Kamala in there, now the president isn't getting blowjobs, she's giving them.
Ooh.
And that's a whole new level.
Okay, so her international plan
Exactly.
could be meeting with Xi,
Yes.
and she just gives him a little service, and suddenly
Dude,
we're like
double penetration.
Taiwan's free.
Putin
Oh,
and Xi.
oh my
DP.
gosh, they're running a train on him with Kim Jong Un.
The DP with POTUS. I mean, come on. Would that not elevate our standing in the world?
I think Pornstash needs to write a porno that goes right along with this. I think that has to happen. This has to be a thing. You know, there's no way she should be there, but this is absolutely something that's going to be said as soon as she gets, if she starts running. That's going to be, everybody's going to say her foreign policy is going to be.
And I should just quickly, before, someone out there tries to cancel us, I'm not saying Joe Biden can't give good blowjobs. I'm just saying Kamala's better. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
And
God.
I think
Joe's got
Trump's
his own
a biter.
lemon party going.
What if Michelle Obama was president?
You mean Michael?
A whole other wrinkle there.
Big Mike.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then I mean, that's what they call a yin and yang, right? It's not a 69 anymore. It's a yin and yang because you're like inserting into each other.
So hot,
right? Isn't that what they call it in the gay community? A yin and yang. Someone correct me.
You know, I never really put two and two together there. Now that you say yin and yang in 69, I never
presidential.
I never
Presidential
put that together.
docking. Oh God. What the fuck?
Yes. The presidential docking might be the name of the show. We're gonna add
Instead
that
of
to
the
list
morning
here.
brief, it'll be called the morning docking.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So Hefe,
Yep.
Rumor is you've got a farm report tonight. Is that true?
I have a farm report locked and loaded.
Excellent. Because during your next stint, we are going to cover your farm report, but we're also going to talk about making our own masculinity retreat. Because you can pay $10,000 and go to a retreat now, in some places for men, and just like wallow around in a pool of water and cry to each other. And apparently that's masculinity. So I think we can up the ante here. So it's another opportunity for us to make some side scratch.
Let's do it.
All right.
I feel like I need to start charging more for my martial arts classes, because
I think you do.
An overabundance of masculinity going on in that garage. I mean, the
Well,
fact
even
that fact that I teach it in a garage should just say something right there.
Yeah.
See, whenever I've never told you this, but I've got this vision. I know I'm wrong, but I've got this vision that you're in there. You're teaching karate in your garage. You've got this jean jacket on, and there's a Camaro outside because you move the Camaro out onto the driveway, and then everybody comes in and you guys just go at it. Then you have some beers afterwards. Is that kind of accurate?
So accurate. I mean, it's right out of the Jets versus the Sharks. Like, we sing a little bit, and then someone whips out a switchblade, and then it's on, and someone's going home in a body bag. Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
I miss movies where the assailant had like a assailant. That's my big word for the night. A switchblade. Yeah, everybody's got like a Glock now, and everybody's got a big gun.
That Italian.
Got a switchblade.
Go ahead, F.A. Are you about to bring up the Italian Spider-Man?
Yes.
That
Yes.
was so great.
That was
He
amazing.
literally during that whole clip, he literally did nothing spider-like.
No,
Not one thing. He didn't shoot webs. He didn't climb a wall. I mean, he did jump off a high building, But even that, it looked like he just landed on his feet. Like he didn't. There was nothing spider-like about it.
We'll have to put that clip in show notes. You guys can go out and take a look at it. It was fantastic, and the fact that he just grunted the whole time too was pretty amazing. Also,
oh yeah, right. I guess that's kind of spider-like. I hear they're grunters. Like
yes,
we can't hear them, but
well,
Beard of Liberty. Yes, you can charge. You can actually create your own camp. Charge guys to chop down trees.
Yep.
Do the yard work. You can take them out and shoot guns, drink some whiskey, fire up some steaks, and charge them $10,000 a pop. So you should do this.
I thought when did being a guy become so confusing?
I think that we're looking at the last 2017.
I guess. I mean, like, it's kind of one of those things. Like I mean, it's like being in love, right? You can't fake that. You can't fake being in love. You can marry somebody that you're not in love with, but if you're really in love, like you just are, and either you're a man and you have masculinity, or you're not. There's no, you can't fake it. You can't learn to be a dude. You can learn stuff about being a dude, but you either are or you aren't. It's either funny to smack your friend in the face or it's not. Like, there's not a middle ground there.
Hey, I got to go.
All right, man.
All right, Evan.
I'll be back
See you in a bit.
hour.
All right, later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to explore that some more. We'll see what we got there. I still have not finished all this beer. It was a big bottle. It was a really big bottle.
Okay.
So
I was gonna say it was only a 5%er.
Yeah, no, it was. It's actually been a pleasant pour, so I'm actually enjoying it.
Sounds like somebody needs a masculinity retreat.
No,
I
do.
I'm definitely not calling out your masculinity. That is
No, you can do that.
above
I'm
reproach.
fine with it. I'm masculine enough to defend my masculinity. I'm
well,
perfectly
and
comfortable with it.
That's it, right? Like once you're once you're comfortable in your own skin, whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. Or I don't know, somewhere in between that. It shouldn't matter what somebody says about you because you're like, well,
No.
I know who I am, so fuck off. I will say this about this beer. It warmed up nicely. More of the pineapple flavor came out. I want to say this too. This is an interesting little phenomenon that's happening here. I'm slightly allergic to pineapple. When I eat pineapple, my lips swell up and my tongue gets itchy and my throat will kind of constrict a bit. Not that it's like dangerous. Like I get a little wheezy, I guess is what I should say. I'm having that effect with this beer. My mouth is very itchy. My lips got a little flappy. And that's probably also the alcohol a bit, but they're definitely swollen. And I'm feeling that itch in the back of my throat where I'm there's definitely some pineapple juice in this. So
do you need to like take some adrenaline or something for the anaphylactic?
I don't know.
Do you need to...
I don't. It's not like a thing where I keep an EpiPen around, but I mean, I do keep an EpiPen around, but it's not because of anaphylactic shock. It's just because I like the adrenaline rush. So maybe I'll pop myself. I don't know. We'll see.
So that's like a Saturday. Well, it's Saturday night. You should.
Yeah, exactly. You get sleepy after that third beer. You just like, babe, pass me the Epi. I need an EpiPen stat.
And that's a very manly, masculine thing to do. To just go ahead and shoot yourself with an EpiPen just because. Fuck this. Watch me go.
That reminds me of the movie Crank.
Yes. One of the most phenomenal movies ever.
Oh,
speaking of masculine.
such a fun watch. My God. Such a fun watch. If you haven't seen it, go do yourself a favor. Go out and fucking watch it. After you finish listening to this podcast, of course.
Correct. All right, you ready to get into beer too?
Yeah, man, let's do it. Hopefully I'm still alive. Let's do it.
All right, so beer 2. Big shout out to Beard of Liberty, who's in chat now, and L. Thank you for dropping by. Fitz, I have another rare beer, and it is by Perennial Artisanal Ales. and I have an Imperial Milk Stout by them.
Oh wow, that's not
Can you
easy to
hear
do,
that?
folks.
Can you hear that pour?
Yeah, it glugged.
Yes, it does.
It glugged.
So this one is an Imperial Milk Stout with chocolate and vanilla. The ABV is 11.5%. This one's it's actually gonna get a little bit better over time. But it is made specifically for the Rare Beer Club. So I think that's pretty neat. This is a brewery that's it opened its doors in September of 2011, and they are out of Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. So I think it's a bummer that Grays are not here because they might they might know these guys. So, but if you guys are listening on Monday, then please weigh in if you've had something like this because it definitely pours thick. Oh shit! That is a dirty milk stout.
Earthy.
Oh, earthy? No, you can't taste any of the booze. It is, if you melted down dark chocolate, added some vanilla, dusted it with cocoa, that's what you would get. Wow. That is a filthy, filthy Imperial Milk Stout. Like you were saying, that's a hard style to do because there's so much lactose involved with it that it's not something you see very often. Oh, that is a rich. It's like a chocolate cake in a glass.
Nice.
Or chocolate mousse. Wow, mother. Whew. If I wasn't diabetic before. That's 2 for 2 though on the rare beers though. So thank you. This is Rare Beer Club, so you guys can go out and check it out yourselves if you like. This is a subscription that Fitz was kind enough to indulge me with earlier in the year. So when I get them in, and they just came in, I want to say it was like 2 days ago, right before the 4th. Yeah, that's a fantastic beer. Very, very good.
Nice.
In beer, it is close to a sex beer. We'll see how it warms up. I might stick my dick in it later. We'll see. I'm not ruling that out yet.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what I liked about that gift? Not only, I mean, it's beer, so duh, no brainer. But I just liked that, every couple of months, you're gonna have a beer you've never had before, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
And
and
small batch stuff, and it's just great.
yeah, and I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. We've had thousands of beers, thousands and thousands of beers. Absolutely no doubt about it.
Right.
And to be able to get stuff that I haven't had is really, really neat.
Yeah, that's just fun.
And I also don't
stuff.
have a choice either. I'm going
Yeah.
to drink it.
Yeah.
Because you go to the store, you
Right.
typically you're going to gravitate to what you like, right? Styles that you
Yeah.
like, but these are going to come regardless. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
2 for
that's the
2.
other thing I liked about it is just kind of, here, have this. Like, here, you got to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked, they hand select everything too, so it's not like they're just willy nilly picking shit. They're, people are drinking these beers and going, oh shit, that needs to go out in the Rare Beer Club. So, fun stuff.
Yep, absolutely. What do you got over there?
Well, as promised, I think I promised this last week. I am doing another beer from Mother Earth Brew Company. This one is from their Four Seasons series. This is a definite fall beer, but I don't care. I have it now. I can't wait to dig into this thing because I really think this is going to be something kind of different. This is a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout, but this one is cocktail-inspired. This is an ale with aromatic bitters, lemon peel, and star anise. So This is modeled
Anus.
after yes, he said anus. A very traditional New Orleans cocktail. Why did I say it like that? New Orleans, Nolans
Nolans.
cocktail. Yeah, Nolans. With you got the bitters, the lemon peel, and the anise in there. So, anyway, I think this is either going to be wildly interesting and something I've never had before, or it's going to be a complete flop because every once in a while, imperial stouts are really easy to make sweet. They're really easy to make. Yeah, that might be it. Yep, that one right there. They're really easy to make sort of decadent. It's hard to mix in, your lemons and your bitters with an imperial stout. So we'll see what we got here. If they pull this off, I'm going to be very, very impressed.
So bartenders out there, and I think Beard and Aaron, you guys could probably speak to this a little bit more than I can. That sounds to me like it's basically an old fashioned. Only it's a bourbon barrel aged old fashioned stout. I mean, that's what I'm hearing here, right?
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is a stout. This is a chocolate stout first. And then it's like you do a bourbon chaser. It's like you drink some hot chocolate and with a little bit of Guinness on the side, and then you chase it with an old fashioned. It's exactly what this tastes like.
Wow.
All of that's in there. I swear to God, I even taste the little fucking cherry on top. Jesus Christ.
No kidding.
Incredible beer. What? How do they do that?
That's crazy.
This is not a sex beer, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it's up there in that category as far as being, tremendous in flavor and depth, and you just want to get to know this beer. But this is some dude that walks into the fucking bar with a suitcase under his arm, that's handcuffed to him, and he's got a 45 strapped to his waist, and he sits down and goes, "Can I buy you a beer?" Fuck yeah, you can, dude. Let's talk. This thing is badass. You want to talk about masculine? If you soaked your cock in this beer for 5 seconds, you would have a big black cock. Holy shit, this thing is a man's beer. Be careful out there. Ladies, if you drink this, I honestly can't guarantee that you won't start having a beard the next day. Holy shit.
Or pop out a dick. That's
or that. Mike, Michelle to Michael. Let's this is the Michelle to Michael beer. Wow. No, really though, all joking aside, very well done. 4 seasons series. Mother Earth period is just, they're really impressive to me, but this 4-season series, every single one of them I've had are just they're home runs, dude. They're just knock down, drag out home runs. Unbelievable.
This Southern whiskey.
I'm done gushing. Yeah.
This Southern whiskey-based classic leans heavily on barrel-aged spirit and is accented by oak and aromatic bitters. The original utilized lemon, garnish, and sometimes an absinthe wash, which we've simulated by adding just a touch of lemon peel and aniseed. Respectively, the sweetness and bitters balance the alcohol, while anise and lemon peel draw out the nuances of the whiskey. To help add backbone, a complex flavor profile was achieved using various toasted malts such as a Victory and Special B, in addition to oats and carapalis for body. This full-bodied stout will instantly transport you to simpler times and pays a nod to the original timeless cocktail. That's pretty badass. And
and then some.
I am going to completely back you up on the Imperial Brown. I found it at Total Wine.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I found it in Total Wine. It's the exact same beer that you had on last week's show. And I did a little victory dance. Don't tell my boss I decided to have one at lunch while I was sitting here working. And I got, dude, that was a complex, toothy, just an amazing brown. I was not ready for that. So I am fully on board with Mother Earth. I need to go ahead and get some more of those. And this little series that they have going,
yeah,
that's fun stuff.
they're fucking killing it right now. They really are. They're just in their prime and they're stretching their legs, and it's like, hey, look what we can do. Incidentally, this one is a 11.3 percenter, so definitely climbing up there into the double digits. Nothing that's scary, like the 13 and 14 percenters, but it's definitely going to kick my ass. So my apologies for whatever I say from here on out. Although I've been kind of a little bit ornery in the first half of the show, so let's see if maybe this calms me down a little.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
and that's okay. So we want to go. Okay.
I guess we go there.
On, Justin, is there an application process for the Patriot Front, or do they only hire from within the government?
I think that's only internal hire.
I think that's an FBI post that.
Yeah.
That's the only. You know what? Let's leave that question out there for our FBI handler and see if he reaches out to us to let us know.
Oh yeah.
If we hear back, we will go ahead and we will let you know directly. All right, Justin.
Dude, I'd like to think. Can I just? I had this thought the other day. That was a fantastic comment, by the way, Justin. I totally. No, it's not off topic because we were gonna kind of go there. They didn't even change their uniforms. It's khakis and a blue shirt. But no, I was thinking the other day. I had a moment of pride. I stuck my chin out a little bit higher, a little bit further, because I was like, I hope that McShane and I have converted some poor FBI handler into an alcoholic. I hope that he just hears us drinking these beers and he's like, fuck, that sounds good. And he starts drinking them. He's like, and now he's like a full blown, like functioning alcoholic, clearly, because he still has his job. But he was a Coors Light guy until he started having to listen to this show. And now we've ruined him forever. That's what I hope happened.
All right. Monday after the show drops, DM us and just say, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
on X.
that's all.
At
that's
whiskey_hell. Let us know. And if you are, here's to finding some great beers and laughing
cheers,
a little bit,
bro.
Because
Cheers.
You better be laughing. Jesus. Hey Fitz, let's add our new champion to the hall. Can we do that?
Oh yes, let's do it right now. This is a perfect time.
We have been remiss, and we've got a couple of these coming. But this week's show, for one of our faithful, one of our amazing, one of the lippiest, most funniest guys that we have come across, Beard, we want to welcome you to the Hall of Champions.
Yes, so well
welcome.
deserved, and long overdue.
Now we're not done. We're not done. We've got some others. We're gonna do over the next couple of weeks.
Yes, it's yeah. We got more coming, but Beard, you have literally added so much to the show, not only through chat, but just in X conversations, and just by you being you, brother. So cheers, man. Welcome.
Stay true. Be you. We appreciate you. So thank you. And yes, you can send me something else to throw up there for the Hall of Champions. I'll throw.
That picture's too perfect, dude.
It really is. But you changed your profile, and I didn't get to move. I didn't get to boost the picture before you did it. So that's what you get. I even tried to wash it through AI a couple times to try and figure out if I could do something else with it, but no, it's too perfect, and that's you. So
is that 556 or is that?
I have no idea.
I'm asking Beard.
Oh yeah, ask the ammo guys. They'll be able to tell you.
Oh shit! Fantastic. So good.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Fitz, let's discuss Agenda 2025, because this is the other bullshit that's come out this week that has absolutely no bearing on anything other than ammo for the left. Yep. Let's go straight to Matt Kim. Should we do that?
Well, yeah, we can do that. Before you play that, not only is it ammo for the left, it's also a really nice distraction to Agenda 2030. The
It absolutely
WEFs,
is.
and I know we'll get there, but I just it's like a two birds with one stone kind of thing, which they love. They love to be able to do a lot with a little. So, yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is Matt Kim. We've had him on the show before. You guys can follow him. It is what is his? I think it's at Matt Kim. I'll have to look that. Well, free Matt Kim, free
Matt, there it is. Yep.
FREEMATTKIM on TikTok, and I think it's the same thing on X. But here's
Yes.
here's his video.
Project 2025. Fine. I'll do a video about it. It's got to be the most requested topic in the last week, and here's why. Because they are artificially creating outrage around it. Because the virality of the topic is complete propaganda. How do I know? Because they all hit the same talking points. How many times have you heard the phrase conservative LinkedIn? It doesn't even make any sense. Project 2025 is a document and outline made by the Heritage Foundation, their conservative think tank. Project 2025 is basically their wish list of things that they'd like to see done. It was written almost 2 years ago and had been available to the public to read and review. Every 6 months or so, the paid propagandists push out the fear-mongering, and the fact that so many people are asking me about it, it's clearly working. Heritage Foundation is one of almost 2,000 think tanks in America. It's a big one, but not linked to Trump in any way. Want to know what Trump's plan for office is? It's called Agenda 47. You can find it on his website. Just do a quick search. If you want to be concerned, maybe focus on the UN's Agenda 2030, which almost the entire world has signed, including the US. Or focus on the Pandemic Treaty, which the US has also actually signed. You're so focused on documented ideas and ignore actual agreements world governments have signed without your consent or approval. When it seems like everyone is talking about the same thing, more often than not, it's manufactured propaganda.
It is absolutely manufactured propaganda, and it's fucking
Yep.
disgusting.
Yep.
Trump hasn't had anything to do with 2025. Yeah, he's got some guys that are floating around as political talking heads, some guys that advise him. Absolutely. I have no doubt that some of the stuff that they want is on there, but that's not the platform that Trump is running on. It isn't. We've got all of it in show notes. You guys can go out there. You guys can look for yourselves. But this was another thing that popped up this week, which is just absolute bullshit. It has nothing to do with what Trump is running on.
Yeah, and listen, I guess it's that time of the show. It seems like we do it every week. We are not pro-Trumpers by any means. I know that some of the people that listen to our show are definitely pro-Trumpers, are very conservative, and that's great. I fucking love that. Good for you guys. I love that you are so secure in your beliefs, and you think Trump is the guy that's going to win it for us. Great. But we're not here to side with either side. We're only here to kind of sift. If something like this were associated with President Biden, we would absolutely call that out too. But the really funny thing is, there's nothing like this associated with Biden that he's not actually part of. There's not. So we're calling bullshit on this because it's actually bullshit, and it is only used, like Matt Kim very well stated. This is a distraction. This is a way to get you to look over at the left hand while the right hand, fingers your wife or whatever. I don't know, steals your watch, however you want to see it. It's got nothing to do with Trump, and the fact that they're trying to tie it to him, and again that you see that consistency of them tying it to him. Just be very cautious. I know there's people that Trump just lives rent free in your heads. That any little sliver of bad news about him, and it's confirmation as to what an asshole he is. But
did you hear that he's been on? They released the new Epstein files, Fitz, and he's on there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen the doctored photos. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, exactly. He's not on there. Fuck off. It's not.
Oh, believe me, if he was, they would have released that shit years ago. Right when Epstein hung himself, quote unquote, they would have released that Donald Trump was on that fucking list. The fact is, that's also propaganda and bullshit. He was never on that list. None of those pictures are real. You can tell if you look. I'm not even a fucking Photoshop guy, and I can look at those photos and be like, that's Trump's face pasted on somebody else's body. So just be careful out there, guys. Really, honestly, we say it all the time. It's the mantra of the show. Think critically, act accordingly. Like, don't just take what they're shoving in your face as the truth.
Go look it up.
Yeah, 99% of the time, it ain't.
Go look it up. It's okay. We can do our own research. We can make our own opinions. It is just fine. And I'm not even saying that I disagree with either.
Right.
I don't think all of Project 25 is bad. I don't think that Trump's Agenda 47 is bad. At this point in time, yes, I will go out and say it. I will vote for Trump over Biden. Absolutely. I'll say it right now. There you go. But the point is that I did my own research to come to that conclusion. It wasn't because some fucking talking head told me that he's Hitler or that he's gonna get rid of the education department. He's gonna add the Fed. All these things. I've decided after everything that is coming out. Yeah, that's the safest bet.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not to add my opinion in here, but I will. I do think the Department of Education can go fuck itself and it should implode. Because since its inception, we've only lost ground on the rest of the world. So, I mean, if you're talking about government programs, Head Start is a complete waste of taxpayer money. I'm sorry. I will absolutely die on that hill. DM me, and I'll tell you why. Head Start's a terrible idea. It again goes back to that little pat on the head. We'll help you because you're not dumb. You're not smart enough to do it on your own. But to Justin's point, Justin in chat said, it's amazing how people with different opinions can still be friends. That's the whole point of this show. I don't care what end of the spectrum you're on. We want everyone here. We got love for all of you, particularly if you're a beautiful woman, but really anybody. And not only do we welcome you, we want you here. I want to hear dissenting opinions. I want to hear alternative facts to what I've been finding out, because at the end of the day, that only benefits us all because it gets us to the actual truth of what we're talking about, which is what I want, McShane wants, Hefe. And so bring it on. I welcome all of it. It's, and you know, what's funny is it seems to be rational folks who are being called, conservatives and on the right, but we're the ones wanting to have the conversation and we're bringing like receipts and facts and shit. And the left wants to stand on I shouldn't say left. The extreme liberal argument wants to stand on an emotional platform that has no basis in reality. And that I can't stand for, because you can't have a society based on emotion. It's a factor, but it can't be based on that. So we're here for rationale. Are we the new rationalists? Are we, like in philosophy, there was that whole, yeah, there was that whole rationalist movement of like, hey, you guys are getting way out in the esoteric about shit that doesn't even matter. Let's get back to rationalism. I feel like that's where we're headed again. Like, let's get it back to reality here, guys. I don't know. Weird.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I whatever camp that is, because I'm still trying to find that camp. I'm not really sure where that is. I know, I feel like we've got that camp in our chat. Our patrons are definitely in that area. They're,
for sure.
They know their shit, and they're reasonable and they're rational, and they understand that, they understand people. They don't have these delusions of grandeur out there that, 1% of the population is more important than everybody, rather than just, the whole population's important and everybody should be fucking cool to each other. I know that's a really simplistic thing to say, but I would love for us to come back to that. I would love that.
That's rational, dude. Okay, so here's my only question. So the big three of the rationalist movement, empiricism really is where it came from, but it came through Enlightenment, and so you got Rene Descartes, you got Spinoza, and you got Leibniz. Descartes was first, I believe. check me on that because I might be wrong, but I think it went Descartes, then Spinoza, then Leibniz. Who do you want to be?
Who do I want to be?
Yeah, I mean, who are you taking? Rene Descartes. He probably had some of the most famous quotes.
I would probably I would say I'm probably
three.
more of a Descartes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he had the quote. What was his quote? I've only ever asked God for one thing, and that was to make my enemies ridiculous, and he granted it. What a great line. I think I'm a Spinoza guy, and only because Spinoza, he had some really deep shit that got into the like afterlife kind of stuff. So you can be Descartes, I'll be Spinoza, and then that by de facto makes Hefe Leibniz, which I don't know a whole lot of Leibniz, honestly, but sorry, Hefe, you're that guy. So maybe like do research, look him up, see what he. I don't know what he contributed, but there it is, folks. There's your philosophy lesson for tonight. By the way, something I haven't talked about on the show for a very long time, but this seems like a perfect time to bring it up. There's a podcast that I occasionally listen to. It's less frequent now just because I feel like a lot of the themes and things are repeated. But the podcast is called Philosophize This. And this guy was a philosophy professor. I don't think he was tenured yet, but he was, teaching at a school up in the Pacific Northwest, I think Seattle University or something. And he's just started like putting some of his lectures into a podcast form. And the guy number one, he knows his shit. Number two, he's nice to listen to. It's a nice cadence to his voice, and he's got a easy to listen to voice. But also then he kind of relates what these guys were talking about, sometimes 1,000 years ago, and he relates it to modern life, like what you're going through right now today, and how you can apply these philosophical giants to what you're going through now. And that really, the one thing that I get from it is that life, even though we have all this technology and all this bullshit and politics and, the threat of geothermal nuclear war, the problems essentially, when they're boiled down, they're the same as they've always been. Is what the fuck am I doing here? What's my purpose? And where do I go next? And so,
and why is everybody in my way?
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. Anyway, it's a great podcast. Look it up. Philosophize This. He's got hundreds of episodes out by now. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think his first 80 were fucking phenomenal. And then he kind of had to start going back and sort of repeating, like I said, some of the themes, and some of the philosophers come up over and over and over. But he still keeps the content fresh and amazing. But I think those first 50 to 80 were just his breakdown of the Buddha and Buddhism and rationalism. And he's really good at what he does. So, all right, my plug is done, but go out and take a listen, guys. It's great stuff.
All right. This is a video that I pulled off of X that I wanted to go ahead and play. This is totally forgot the guy's name. Hold on a second.
Yes,
G. Edward Griffin.
Yeah, this was this is great.
Edward Griffin, and there's a longer video that I can post as well. But this is a really great excerpt on democracy.
Democracy is a form of government based upon the principle of majority rule. Period. End of discussion. Now, that's not very complicated. Majority rule. It's easy to understand, easy to sell to the masses, and I might add, deadly. For example, what would you call a lynch mob? That's majority rule. There's only one dissenting vote, and he's at the end of the rope. Now, that's pure democracy in action. But wait a minute, you say. The majority should rule, yes, but not to the extent of destroying the rights of the minority. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer describing a democracy. We are speaking of a republic. A republic is a limited democracy. It's a form of government based upon the principle of limited majority rule. Limited so that the minority, even a minority of one, can be protected against the whims and passions of the majority. And how do you protect the minority from the majority? You write down a set of rules on a piece of paper. You say, this we can do, that we cannot. At the top of the paper, you write the word Constitution. And then everyone agrees to follow the rules no matter what the temptation. And when you're finished, you've created a constitutional republic.
I'm not saying it's perfect, because we get a lot of jackasses in Congress. So I think it's probably been perverted out of way, way far away from what it's supposed to be. But in its simplest form, that's what it should be. If we didn't have lobbyists, if we didn't have, people out for their own gain, that's exactly what this is. But you're not going to hear that now. It's all democracy, 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 democracy. And people are confusing that idea with what we actually are. And they're skipping over the whole legislation part. And it's almost like we've decided that gang rule is what matters. And it's not.
Well, just look at, right now, the most important race, and it's been this way in years past too. I'm not trying to minimize what's happened before, but right now, do you even know which congressmen are up for re-election right now?
Nope.
Which congressmen are running against the congressmen who are up for re-election?
Only if I drive down the street. Only if I drive down the street, then I'll know.
Right.
Then I'll see a sign.
Right. And all we hear about is Trump versus whoever the idiots decide to nominate as their, whoever they can nominate. So, but let's just say Trump and Biden. That's all you hear about. It's the presidential election, and again, this leads to think critically, act accordingly. This leads to, if they're telling you that the presidential election is the most important, you have to take a step back and go, actually, that's one dude versus 400 plus, congressmen. And why isn't that more important? It should be, because those people actually are from where I'm from, and they represent what I do, what my community wants. Why is that not more important? So again, it's all distraction. It's all looky, so that you somehow get fucked in the ass at the end. And it's, Ukraine, that whole thing's been real quiet. They just gave another, I think, what was it, $4 billion to Ukraine?
2.3 billion was what I saw the other day.
Okay. I'm sorry. Once it gets over 1 billion, I lose count. But
yeah.
So, okay, another 2 billion just gets shuffled. And again, we're not hearing about Palestine, East Palestine, with the railroad derailment. We're not hearing about Maui. We're not hearing about anything domestically that we could take care of with that 2.3 billion.
Correct.
Billion. Can you even fathom that number? It's more money than any of us will ever see. Yep, me too. And I would love for that 2.3 billion to come back to us and have us be able to do with it what we want at a community level. Do you know what we could do with our local schools here if that came back to Eugene? So anyway, I guess we have several soapboxes that McShane and I wanted to get on tonight, but just know that if they're pushing the presidential election really hard, it absolutely means jack shit compared to what's happening behind your back.
Well, and it means jack shit compared to what's happening on the local level. If you look at what Soros has done, he's gone through and he's funded DA after DA after DA, which has turned into an absolute clusterfuck when it comes to who's being kept in jail and who's not. That's where 100%. The money, that's where the smart money is. I could spend 50 grand or 100 grand on a local race and completely pervert it to get my agenda rammed through while everybody's over here worried about who's going to be in the Senate, the House, and in the presidency. And at the end of the day, what really matters is what's happening at the state level, what's happening at the local level, what's happening at the city level. Who's putting into place laws that allow fentanyl, right? In California or in Philadelphia, or the homeless in each of those states, in Boston, in New York. That's where the decay is happening. And you can't tell me for 1 minute that it isn't a perverse, chaotic dream, wet dream that is being invoked around the nation. So when it comes down to Joe not being able to talk clearly and Donald being able to talk clearly and having his own agenda, people forget that at the local level, that's where we're being seriously bent over. And there's no lube, and nobody's taking it seriously. Because it's okay to go ahead and vote all blue and not actually think about what's happening at the local level. It's scary shit.
You bet. It's very scary. I mean, that's the point, I guess, that we're trying to make tonight, but also that we've been making for many months now, is that, you know, I'm actually really thankful for COVID, mostly because it allowed us all to see the lie in real time. You know, and everything subsequently that's happened since, you know, BLM, Ukraine, all of that, it's we now see through the veil, because COVID was really the veil that they tried way too hard to force over us, to blanket us with it, and it had too many holes to poke in it. And I'm not really sure why that was the hill that they chose to die on, but they fucking died on that hill. And there's too many of us awake now. There's too many of us that are looking ahead going, okay, you lied to us about that. Why in the fuck should we trust you about this? And that's every week, week in and week out. That's the question we ask. Why should we trust you? Oh, well, there's 15 reasons why we shouldn't. And that's what we talk about on the show every week. And that's where we're at with the presidential election. And that's where we'll be at next week with whatever comes out this week. I'm not saying I have the Santeria. I've known 3 people in my life that have legitimately had the Santeria, up to and including, shout out Gloria. If you're listening to this show, McShane, I think you met Gloria one time.
Yeah. I've met her a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah, Gloria, if you're listening to the show, every once in a while she listens. She legitimately, like, to a point of, like, scary. She has the Santeria. She has dreams, and then they come true. So I should check in with my friend Gloria to see what dreams she's been having lately. But I don't have that. That's not what I'm saying. But I do have a feeling that we've had 3 weeks now of trumped up news. That news that really wasn't news, but it was made a big deal.
It's
but
fanatical.
we're past, right. It's fanatical. And now we're past that 4th of July weekend. I'm just saying, everybody, heads up. I feel something coming. It could be Joe's, medical incident. It could be someone accidentally, quote unquote, launches a nuke. I don't know. But I'm just saying, pieces have been moving around the globe. If you think about it as a chessboard, pieces have been put in place, and we're ripe for a summer of protests and insurrections and toppling of regimes. So just keep your head on a swivel this week. That's all I'm saying. And I hope I'm wrong. Yeah.
The
yeah,
UK.
Well, there you go.
Is,
regime change. There you go.
You talk about regime change. Now, the funny thing here, for me anyway, I'm watching this, and Rishi Sunak said, "Oh, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I've got to get an election out there and make sure that if things are going bad, we got to get an election and get rid of the government and just reverse everything." Tell me how strategic that was, because he was already leaning into socialism pretty heavy, and now the UK is completely socialist. I mean, they have it's 412 seats out of their 650 seats in the House of Commons is all socialist. That means everything when we talk about the Labour Party, we're talking about basically that's our Democratic Party, our Liberal Party. Okay, that's what they are. The hardcore liberal. Yeah, they're going to be on fire within the next year or two. They
all
are
sucking
going to
on
go
the
through hard fucking times.
Yep, they're all sucking on the teat of the WEF too. Don't forget that.
Yes. But this is going to be the first time that labor's been in charge for, I want to say it's like the last 14 years or something. Somebody can go and correct me on that. But very, very interesting. You want to talk about they've already ended the Rwanda. I think it was a Rwanda. I want to see, it was a not a rule, whatever the legislation was there, that they're going to send anybody home who is from Rwanda. I think that's what it was. Okay. Basically, their immigration, their borders are wide open. The guy who's in charge now, God, what the hell is this guy's name?
Yeah, that fucking douche. What is his name?
What is his?
Corbyn? Jeremy Corbyn.
No, it's not. No, it's Starmer. Keir Starmer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it was one of those wins where there weren't a lot of people voting either, allegedly. So it wasn't like they got they had the percentages, right? So they definitely won, but it wasn't like the whole country went out and voted either. So it kind of makes you wonder what really was going on. But this guy, he's already he says, "Oh yes, UK first, my country first," but the borders are going to be open, and God help everybody in England as far as what ends up happening, because we've already seen what's tried to be happening here. It's scary shit. It's very, very scary shit. So looking forward to talking to our guys across the pond there.
Yeah,
Semi-skeptic.
That's exactly the first thought I had too. Was like, I wonder how semi-skeptic, how those fellows are reacting to this, because I mean, I think I know, but that'll be an interesting conversation for sure.
No, it absolutely is. And yes, with borders wide open is a Creed song. Thank you, Beard of Liberty. It's so bad. So bad. And you should never apologize for bad humor. Ever. All right.
Especially on this show. You have met us all, right?
I mean, it's pretty much stem to stern. Oklahoma, Alabama now have AI-powered vending machines that sell bullets, Fitz. This is probably the best story of the week.
I agree. I mean, I'm not sure why there's the uproar around the internet. I guess I do know. But the vending machines come with like some really kind of redundant and pretty robust security measures. So because the big argument out there was, oh, my kid can go and buy me, a box of 45.
The knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually that's not true. You have to scan your ID, and then the AI does a 3D scan of your face to make sure it's the same person, runs a background check on you while you're standing there. And then distributes the ammo. My biggest concern about this is the local mom and pop gun shops. How much business are they going to lose? And I'm asking because I don't know, but how much business are they going to lose with these vending machines that are down at your local grocery store? So now you don't have to go into. We have a really great shop here in town where I bought all of my weapons from, called Mazama. Really great place. Just good guys in there. They're knowledgeable. You go in and you don't feel like when you walk in, they're looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing here? They're seriously like customer service based, very friendly, willing to have a conversation with you, willing to talk about the guns. They've shot everything that's in the place. So they're coming from a place of experience, and just a great place to go. But how much business is a place like that going to lose by me being able to go to Albertsons and, pick up some 5.56, a few, some buckshot and some 9mm for my Glock. I don't know. I hope the answer is like none, zero, that they don't lose any business from it, that those local gun shops make their money off of selling actual guns and other accoutrement, the all the stuff that comes with a gun, the case, the holster, the extra magazines, all of that stuff. And that they will lose very little on ammo sales. But if this is a ploy to start putting those mom and pop shops out of business, then absolutely not. We should all boycott these things and never buy one round from these machines ever.
So that's not where
that's my take on it. Okay.
That's not where my mind went on it. That's a possibility, obviously, because what a great way to cut out the middleman than to go ahead and put your own storefront in a store and go ahead and purchase from. But this is going to be for you and everybody who has who purchases ammo in chat. The first thing that I thought of was when you look at the process to go up and actually purchase this ammo. Okay, you're scanning an ID. You're gonna use your face, right? They're getting some kind of, they're doing some biometric analysis there to make sure
that's a good point.
They know who it is.
That's a good
right?
point. You're now on record.
Well, now you're on record buying X amount of ammo. Okay, that's because they had to prove it was for you're of age, right? I don't know what it takes if I go down to Shields or Sportsman's or whatever, and buy some ammo. Are they writing me down? You guys got to tell me this. I don't.
No. I mean, at least in Oregon, no, you can buy as much ammo as you want. I mean, with no proof of who you are. In fact, you can buy it online. Ammo is not the problem. You just can't buy guns online. You can't.
Right.
When you go and buy a gun down at Mazama, that's when they take your ID. You have to fill out the whole form. They run you through the FBI database, all that bullshit. But no, ammo you can buy pretty much like indiscreetly, like anonymously.
So I can just walk into a gun shop and say, hey, here's the bricks that I want to go ahead and purchase. Here's my cash. I'm out the door. I'm assuming this machine doesn't take cash, right?
I would assume that also.
There's gonna be a credit card. I mean, we can go ahead and we can look at the purchasing process. You guys can look at this. It's good at American Rounds, and it's a nice big vending machine. It's just like if you're going to go buy lottery tickets or
it looks like the Bitcoin machines.
Yeah, Visa, MasterCard,
Apple
Pay, Android Pay.
Yeah.
So you can go and you could purchase whatever you want from this machine. But you're going to be on fucking record doing it. So now let's imagine you're going to go and you buy. I mean, I need to stock up. They've got a certain deal right now or whatever, because I'm sure it's like, and Beard, you even said, that's probably not going to be the greatest ammo ever. Well, now you're on record buying, 1,000 rounds of something.
Yeah.
Who gets that information? I mean, you're tracked now.
No, that's
your
that's
face
a great
is on
point.
there.
It's a great point.
That's no bueno for me.
Well, I mean, and we talked earlier about, that two birds with one stone. I mean, what if it's a little bit of what you're saying, that it's easier to track the person, it's easier to know who's buying what. And it's also a little bit of we're stealing money from the mom and pop, gun owners, the gun shop owners. And so, Democrats win on both fronts because we're going to shut down these small gun shops, and we are also going to know who is buying what all the time.
Yeah. Well, you've hit your
Scary
allotment.
shit,
You're cut
actually.
off. You've bought
Yeah,
too much for this month or this year.
Right. Regardless of how much you're going down to the gun range.
This is not nearly as cool as Borderlands when you get to buy your own ammo and stuff, or your own guns from it.
No.
I like where we're going with that, but that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that thought to me. I like the anonymity. It fucking this definitely, that's the part that bothered me the most. That was a Gizmodo article, and it's traveled the world at this point. But you guys can go ahead and take a look at it, think it through. Support your local gunsmith, gun store. I think that's really the way to go for that. But that's just me.
Agreed.
So we called this months and months and let's just call it what it is. Back in October when Israel went into Palestine, that was a land seizure.
Land grab. Yep.
It was finally called a
100%.
land grab. Totally called a land grab. Thank you, AP, for coming out and saying that.
Yeah, exactly. The international community's finally woken up. Here's what I'm hoping is that the AP, someone down at the AP is listening to Whiskey Hell podcast, and they're like, "Oh shit, these guys were onto something. Maybe we should look into this." But yeah, so they finally officially called it. It's not about terrorists. It's not about Israeli security. I mean, it might be about those things too, but on a cursory level,
there's an element about it, and there's an element of being able to increase your land size and being able to go and throw in another 5 settlement for another 5 miles of people or whatever that is to acreage.
But that's what it's about. Is we've got too many people coming into Israel, too many Jews, and we need a place to build some new communities. And so, thank you, Palestine. Thanks for October 7th. And which again, I'm still on the fence. It's still not been proven to me to a satisfactory level that was that the Mossad didn't know it was coming, which they're supposed to be one of the top tier, intelligence agencies on the planet. So you're telling me they didn't know that was coming, okay? And then B, that it wasn't fucking as bad as they said it was, because again, the only video that's ever come out of there was some awkwardly placed bodies together. There wasn't this massacre that they said it was. At least I have not seen that. Now, we all saw the video of the young ladies being kidnapped and awful things happening to them. Still no proof of who those women were, that they were Jews, that actually happened on the day they said it happened. No, zero proof out there. And there's a lot of people still asking those questions. And as soon as they ask those questions, what do you know? They get shut down. Even on X, they get shut down pretty quick. So I'm just saying there's a lot of questions around all of that. And now here we are. We're finally to the point that we can all agree this was a fucking land grab. And then you have to ask, okay, so then did October 7th did that actually happen? Or are we just killing innocent people because, false flag, all that bullshit, like 9/11?
Well, I mean, let's go back to what we reported a few weeks after October 7th was that there's that area is built on an amazing amount of resources, billions and billions of dollars worth of oil. They wanted to go ahead and put in I forget the name of it, but another canal.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I mean, I think it still tracks. It still does. It's just nice that, well, yeah, okay. They just finally came out and said, yeah, we're taking this land here. It's done.
Yep.
And it was actually voted on, several months ago. So it was just released that this was voted on, which the Palestinians have no say on this. But
oh, no.
Yeah, Israel, they've just gone ahead and they've taken over that land. So
yeah,
it's fun stuff.
Disgusting.
Anyway, Gray's Tabby and Mike just joined chat. Perennial Artesian is the beer that I'm drinking. It's from your neck of the woods, but you guys decided that you're going to go watch horror movies tonight. Horror movies.
Horror movies.
You guys are going to have to go back and listen to the actual review in order to know what I thought of that. But in the meantime, we have a Hefe sighting. Hefe.
We do have a Hefe sighting, and it's time for the farm report.
The farm report.
Are you ready? You ready to go?
Just
already?
Hold on. Wait. Before we start that, Hefe, just
we got
so
Buttercup
you know,
here too.
Yeah, Buttercup popped in. We got the Grays. We got it's a full fucking house. So while everyone's here, just to recap really quick, because I feel it needs to be restated. We've been remiss. We are correcting a past error, but as of tonight, Beard of Liberty is officially in the Hall of Champions for Whiskey Hell, and we couldn't be more happy to have him there. Very proud to have you, man. So I just wanted to announce it in front of everybody. Congratulations, Beard. You're in the Hall of Champions, forever immortalized into whatever the fuck Whiskey Hell podcast is.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Well, let's get into Hefe's farm report. All right, light us up.
All right. Did you guys know that back in 2022, Miami Beach actually had a budget of $200,000 just for iguana hunters? Because people take iguanas in as pets when they're cute little things, but when they get to be too big, as long as 7 feet, they just open up the back gate and off with them.
Too big to take care.
Yeah. So, but as always, Hefe's here to help. And I've contacted some of my friends in Central America because there are farmers down there that have started actually raising green iguanas just as they do chickens. Because, well, you guys heard of chicken of the sea, brand tuna, right?
Right.
Well, down there, iguanas are known as chickens of the trees. And they're eaten as a delicacy and even as a staple food for thousands of years down there. So we get Central Americans to go to Miami, herd up the iguanas that are a big problem down there. Tomato, and there's your farm report.
No shit. That's
Holy shit.
That's fascinating.
I will say iguana meat sounds better than maggot milk. Because that's,
God.
of course, Bill Gates is coming out with his maggot milk so that we stop drinking cow's milk.
Yes.
So I definitely eat an iguana over, drinking whatever the hell maggot milk is.
Well, you could wash your iguana down with maggot milk.
I will not, but I will definitely eat the iguanas. Two things on that. First of all, well done. That's somehow that is relevant to a farm report. It's totally, I love it. I
think 100%. It totally is. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Somehow
they're farming iguanas. I mean, it's like growing chickens, only it's iguanas.
Yeah. Yeah. And as somebody who is, I'm probably 2 steps away from actually having chickens in my backyard. That fascinates me because maybe I need to section off an iguana area also. But the other thing is I worked with a woman who had a neighbor and they had 3 iguanas and they were going out of town and she said, sure, I'll go check on the iguanas. I'll house sit for you and check on the iguanas. And the iguanas, they left the cages open. And the iguanas got onto the waterbed, and the waterbed's heated. So of course the reptile blood likes that warmth. And so this person that I knew was trying to figure out how to get the iguanas back in the cage, and they weren't like 7-footers, but they were well developed iguanas, like 4.5, 5 feet size, from head to tail. And she said she approached them. And they have like a leader. They always have like a pack leader, and the most aggressive one whipped her with its tail, and she showed me the scar. And you guys, I shit you not, it looked like someone sliced her open with a sword.
It's like Godzilla.
Yeah, they turn their tails into an actual blade because they can whip them so hard because they didn't want to give up the warm waterbed. So she was like, fuck that. like she had to go to the ER and get stitches for the laceration, but she's like, fuck them. If they starve, I don't give a shit. Like she gave the neighbors the money back and was like, I'm not watching these fucking beasts. So that's a long way to say, I feel like, eating iguanas is kind of like God's work because they're like little demons. They're really fucking mean. So don't feel bad about eating them if you have to.
Okay.
So there's that.
Hefe, we want you to make sure we want at our masculinity retreat. We want
Who
you to
doesn't?
make sure that you are, you're going to be like our gambling professional, and you're going to do the gambling professional, right? And then you're also going to be like the Sancho.
The
for
wencher
hire.
is
Yeah,
isn't he
yeah,
like
'cause-
he gets the wenches.
Well, so but you're going to be like giving tips like how to get dudes laid. So when we
Right.
bring like these fleets of women in, right? Because we'll have like a barn dance, right? Like the Amish do. And
Sure.
we'll have all the guys on one side and the women on the other. And you're going to be like for days prior, because this is going to be a whole like it's going
it's
to
a
be a
month's
whole
retreat.
event.
It's a month.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
month.
You're gonna teach classes and stuff, and you're gonna teach these guys how to like score with these women that we bring in. And I just want to make sure you're down with that.
Yeah, I got to move some stuff around. Set aside a month, but
No. You really, but you don't
No.
because they're charging $10,000 a dude to float in a pool and cry. So I'm thinking we charge $7,500 a dude, and I'll teach hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
McShane's gonna teach beer 101.
Mhm.
I might co-teach that class, but that's McShane's thing all the way.
Well, I'm gonna have a class that's called "Stop Being a Pussy," and I'm just gonna yell at people the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
And they might cry. I don't know, but if they do, I might send them out and still keep their money. We'll see. I don't know.
Remember when tattoos used to mean something? Anyway, and then Hefe, you're bringing in the the wenching, like how to put out the vibe, as they say in Dumb and Dumber. Like just how to stand at the bar and put out the vibe.
Yeah.
Also how to gamble, like the right way to play cards, the wrong way to play cards. I also think, and I think we can team teach this one, but how to be a good wingman. Right?
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Okay, I'm married, but that doesn't mean that I can't fucking participate in getting my buddy laid. And
Sure.
that's exactly how it should happen. Also, I'm gonna need you guys to help me team teach the class on, gang warfare. Like, it's not just a one-on-one fight; it's everybody, and the whole bar is fighting now. So we need that. We're not gonna do drive-bys, but up to and including. And I just feel like I feel like we have a pretty good lineup of classes we could present that actual males who are actually interested in being masculine could actually participate in and maybe get something from. Just saying.
So I think we bring
love this.
Beard in. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Hefe.
I was just saying,
Beard's teaching firearms. Sorry.
Okay. What was that, Hefe?
Go ahead, Hefe. Yeah.
I love the idea. I'm totally down.
I think Aaron, you can come in and you can like do a personal responsibility classes, seminars, if you will. We can do how to cook, like barbecue, like serious barbecue.
That's a great
lessons.
A barbecue class. How about even just how to make a decent fucking marinara? My God, like that should be something that a man knows how to do, is make a decent red sauce for spaghetti. I think we should, and again, this is on a limited basis because I don't want him getting a fucking big head about it. But every once in a while, we should invite Tony Robbins in to do some inspirational stuff. Get in touch with your feelings, but not like float in a gay pool and cry gay tears, but just like,
do we really want to do like Tony Robbins though? Because I think we could find somebody else that's like fucking like hardcore, like a serious dude,
like Jason Statham. Like,
yeah,
just his English accent alone, it kind of makes me want to.
Like a Gerard Butler.
Yeah, like I grow hair on my chest when I hear Jason Statham with that voice.
And no, Justin, there's not going to be mutual masturbation unless they want to do that. That's on their own time. That's fine. Because we're not going to, whatever you guys want to do.
No, dude, and it's military style barracks. So like everybody's business is everybody's business. Everybody knows if you're jerking off at midnight, we all know it. And if you and Rod are going into the bathroom to anal sex each other, we all know it. Because that's what fucking happened in boot camp when I was in the military. It didn't happen to me, but I woke up, I had to take a piss, and there's two guys in the stall banging. It's like everybody knows that now. Like there's nothing secret. It's military barracks.
You went back to your bed and jerked off to that?
I went back to bed and had really super hyper erotic dreams about it, dude. like a real man. What are you talking about?
See, and just like that, the whole fucking plan is just derailed.
Is the pool made of tears, or is it like tears?
It looked like it. It looked like it, didn't it?
It's made of tears. Yeah,
it was pretty
it is
cloudy.
Made of tears. There's a lot of wet vaginas in that pool. And
what kind of men are going to that? Like, you think it's like a
not guys that are even remotely like confident in themselves? First of all,
no, it's men who don't know how to man. It's guys who don't know what it means to be a dude. Up to and including, like, if I'm your friend, I'm the one that's allowed to make fun of you to the end of the earth. Mm-hmm. No one else is allowed to. I'll beat the shit out of them. But I'm allowed to make fun of you. These are guys that they don't know that. They don't know how that works.
I can't even wrap my head around this because everybody's in there crying, and there's no problem with guys crying. No issues at all.
That's not what we're saying.
But we don't do that in like packs.
No.
we don't do that. Okay, nobody has ever said, "Hey," maybe the Greeks did. Maybe they wanted to get together after, making a really cool sculpture, some cool art, and they wanted to get together. Hey guys, let's sit down and really cry now. Maybe that was a thing. But the Spartans never fucking did this. The Romans the Romans probably were banging each other, but they went out and they fucking killed a lot of people while they were doing it. This is I don't know what the fuck this is, and
I guarantee you
this is not. There's nothing, and I'm not saying alpha males or just throw the alpha male thing out. It's just being a fucking man. We don't do shit like this, and I don't know.
No. So here's the thing: could you imagine a woman just accidentally stumbling upon the scene, and all of a sudden she's like just gushing wet, like, "Oh my god, that's so hot." No, she's gonna look at that and be like, "What the fuck?" All right.
Unless she's
These
liberal,
guys aren't men.
Sit there and cry for $10,000. $10,000.
Yeah. No. And to Beard's point, like, open door for anybody who wants to talk to me at any time. Not only is that my job that I do on a daily basis, but it's also my honor to do for my friends. You guys need to talk about anything. I'm here. And that's part of the fucking pact. If you're in my circle, then you're in, and that's what we do for each other. But we don't hug it out. We don't fucking cry on each other's penises, and we certainly don't hold each other up floating in a pool. We do it as guys would do it, and we move on from it, and we help each other through it. Like, it should be a forward movement. It shouldn't be a floating experience. It should be
just because you're fucking there. You don't have to get all up in the crevice, all up in the crack, and
right.
I don't know,
dude. One of the most therapeutic things I've ever done is when you're at your lowest, is somebody to say, all right, fucking put a backpack on your back and let's go for a hike. Like, let's move forward through this. We can talk the whole way. You can cry, you can yell, you can scream about all of it, but we're going to get somewhere. And at the end of it, you're at the top of a fucking mountain. You're looking out over the vastness of Earth, and you go, okay, I feel better now. And you move on. You don't fucking float in it. You don't sit in it. You know, lesson number 1, when you take a shit, you get up and leave that area, or you flush the toilet. You don't just let it sit there and smell it.
You move on.
You move on. I
Hefe?
think somewhere in that rant we lost Hefe. I don't know.
I think he did. He
you.
just Irish
Love you,
goodbye
man.
us.
Yeah, which I totally respect. I respect you even more right now, dude. That was awesome.
Shit. All right. What beer are you taking to bed, Fitz?
Oh God. Definitely honorable mention for the Sunset Bay, the Alvarado Street Sunset Bay offering. Definitely improved as time went on. But I'm sorry. This Four Seasons fucking nailed it on every level. I can't say enough good things about Four Seasons series, but Mother Earth Brewing Company as a whole. They're just putting out solid beers. They're at the top of their game. If you can get a hold of them, do it, because you won't regret it. So I'm definitely taking to bed the cocktail inspired Imperial Stout. Again, it's meant for fall. I don't give a shit. It's fucking delicious in the middle of summer. It's amazing beer. So, cheers. What are you taking to bed?
I'm actually the Prodigal, it has actually warmed up really, really nice. But I really love that Saison. I'm gonna call it a twofer. I'm gonna try and take them both to bed. We'll see how I go.
Threesome.
We'll see how I do it.
No, threesome, dude. Do it.
All right.
It's 4th of July weekend, Independence Day. Do it.
Yep. It was just great, well done beers. Just from the first sip to the very end, just well structured, tasted wonderful, very refreshing for the Saison and the Prodigal, which I'm not even done yet. Just a mouth-watering sipper that you just want to extend over hours. So really, 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 really fucking great. Really, really great. Very excited.
Love it.
Well, that is going to bring us to our conclusion. Again, hats off to Beard of Liberty for making it to the Hall of Champions. We'll have more updates on that over the next few months, but we wanted to get that done because it is well deserving and has been way behind in making sure that happens. So congratulations, Beard. Thank you to everybody in chat. Buttercup, I know you came in late, but thank you so much. Pappy Joe's Diaper, Aaron from I Had to Say It Pod. Definitely check out Aaron's show. Tabby and Mike from Gray's Tap Room. Jay, I know you had to leave, but thank you so much for being here. Jay from Porn Stash.
Yep.
It's been a banger of a night. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.